know, the flavors is just like crazy right now. The onions popping wild crazy. Seasoning popping wild crazy. Oh my goodness. You see I'm smashing the whole slider with the quickness.
YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Mizzy Miz, and I'm back. We got another cooking video for y'all people. Listen, football season is upon us. So I know that I'm not the only one who like to watch the game with a nice grill up session. You know what I'm saying? So today we doing burgers. I'm about to show y'all how to make the most immaculate, crazy tasting burger you ever gonna have in your life. The recipe's wild simple. Y'all know how we get down over here on this channel. We're gonna give you a simple recipe, give you the flavor, give you the tips on how to get it righteous, and then we're gonna see what it's headed for at the end, you heard? All right, now before we get started, as usual, y'all know how I do in my cooking videos. Make sure you got you something to drink while you make, you know what I mean, while you're watching, while you're cooking. It's always fun and it's enjoyable to have you a little something to sip on when you're cooking, especially when you're grilling. Today, we on rum and coke with that Jamaica's finest Kingston 62. Go get you some rum when you're in the islands. Vibe out. All right, today's recipe, like I said, we doing burgers. Now listen, pro tip number one. Pro tip one, when you pattying up your burgers to grill, I see a lot of people make the mistake of making these super duper huge burgers. And then they come out too dry. The juices ain't flowing. You end up charring the burger up because you're trying to get it fully done all the way through and you char it up too much. I've found in my grilling experience, the perfect size burger is an oversized slider. So when I patty these up today, y'all gonna see exactly why. We're gonna patty them up as ultra fat sliders. They obviously gonna shrink down when we throw them on the grill, but at the end of the vid, you're gonna see exactly why the slider, the ultra oversized slider, is the way to go. All right, let's jump into the ingredients. You know how I'm gonna do them, I'm gonna throw them on the screen as we go. All right, pro tip number two. You need yourself a half a cup of minced onion for this recipe. The onion is gonna be everything. But the key is, now let me get in there. Let's see if the cam can get in that, Joan. Let me see. All right, you see my onions, right? They not chopped onions, they are minced onions. I spent quite a bit of time mincing these onions. If you don't mince these onions down and get them, you know what I mean, always minced down to the minimal size, you're gonna have wild chunky onions in your burger. Now to each its own. Maybe that's something you like, but me personally, when I bite my burger, I don't want to be pulling out a whole piece of onion when I'm biting. I want the flavors to be marinated and simulated all up in that joint. You feel me? So a half a cup of minced onion we're going to use. We're going to use a quarter cup of breadcrumbs. Preferably, you know what I mean, you can go with your Italian-style breadcrumbs. I wouldn't go panko. Panko gives you a different consistency. So I do a quarter cup Italian-style breadcrumbs. We're going to do about 2 cloves of garlic. We're gonna do a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Y'all, I don't know who know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. Worcestershire sauce. Tablespoon of that. We're gonna do a half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. You need 1 large egg. And then, pro tip number 3, your beef. Now, this is another thing I see people mess up all the time. The beef that they use for their burgers. You can't use any old beef. You can't use any old ground beef or nothing like that, right? You need you some 80-20 ground chuck. Go to your local butcher, go to your local grocer, whatever you want to do, but you need 80-20 ground chuck. It's going to give you the perfect consistency to keep the burgers together. It's going to retain juices. The flavor is going to be, yeah, I mean. If you go too lean, it changes the flavor. It changes the consistency of the burger. If you go too fatty with a 73, you're going to have all kinds of flare-ups on your grill. I'm a charcoal griller. Y'all going to see in the second part of the video. 80-20 ground chuck. This recipe calls for about 1 pound. Now, the one good thing about this recipe is that you can extrapolate it. You know what I mean? Up to, if you want to do a 2-pound John, all you're going to do is double everything. Instead of the half a cup, go with a whole cup. Instead of 2 cloves, go 4 cloves. Instead of 1 tablespoon of the Worcestershire, go with 2. You know what I mean? Just double up your recipe if you're going to go 2 pounds. 2 pounds going to produce you about 8 solid sliders. 1 pound a little over a pound, it's going to give me about 4 or 5 solid sliders. So depending on your party, how many people you got coming over for the game, how many you cooking for, you scale the recipe as needed. But it's very scalable. Let's jump in. All right, hands washed, you know what I mean? You want your hands nice and crispy clean when you about to get all mixulating. I know y'all know that word from previous videos. Let's get it mixulated. So, boom, bang. Get you a sip. Woo! All right, first thing, we're going to beat our egg up real quick. We're not going to add nothing into that joint. We're just going to get it beat up because we need that beat up real good for the mixulation that's about to take place. Like I said, if you scale the recipe, just jump it up to 2 eggs. The eggs and the breadcrumbs is the #1 binder in this recipe. I like to go breadcrumbs first. Get the breadcrummies all up in there. That way they can automatically start sopulating. Get your onion. Get your mixed onion all up in that thing. Make sure you get it all, man. The onion is the key to this recipe. We're going to go tablespoon of the Worcestershire. Two cloves of garlic. Clove is about a teaspoon, so about 2 teaspoons. Now, I like garlic, so sometimes I do oversized teaspoons. Listen, you can't go wrong with this recipe with the amount of garlic you put in it. Garlic and the onions is really going to flavorize this grub, this recipe wild immaculately. Let's get our black pepper up in the joint. We'll go 1/4 teaspoon of the black. 1/2 teaspoon of the salt. All right, YouTube. So we had a little error in the vid. Apparently, I thought I was still recording and the joint stopped recording. I'm steady talking. I'm out here giving pro tips on patting these joints up. And yeah, it wasn't recording. So where we left off at, we did the salt and pepper. We did our seasonings. Last thing we put in was the egg. Beat that joint up, throw him in there. You always want to put your wet in super last, you know what I mean? So that way you can get it mixulated. I talked in the video about how you need to get in there with your hands, get him mixulated. I pounded him up all crazy. Got it mixulated. And then I talked about the patty size. Palm of your hand size. If it's stretching out, if the burger that you pattying up is stretching out past the size of your fingertips, it's too big. It should fit right here in the circumference of the palm of your hand. Now, if you got huge hands, obviously you're gonna have a huge slider. I got average size man hands. So right in the palm of the jaw, we fit it in there. You know what, let me just grab it and show you since the vid chopped up. When you're making your patty, it should fit right there in the palm of your hand. Let me see. Let me make sure it's recording. Is it recording, cameraman? Yes. Palm of the hand. You know what I mean? You want to palm him up, flatten it, circulate it, get it flattened, and then you want to give you a nice thumb imprint in the middle. And that's so that way when it's cooking on the grill, it doesn't plump, which will give you the weird mound on the top. You don't want that when you put your burger on. Now you're pushing it down, you're pushing the juices out. You want the juices to come out when you bite that thing. You feel me? So yeah, you're just gonna patty them up. Like I said, 1 pound should produce about 5 nice size sliders. If you extrapolate it to 2 pounds, you're gonna get about 8, 9 sliders out of it. I then talked about what you want to do is refrigerate this joint. Now, if you're in a bind, you can refrigerate it for an hour bare minimum, and it's still gonna have immaculate flavor. But usually I refrigerate this joint like 8 hours minimum. So like right now, I'm prepping it up first thing in the morning. We're gonna throw it on the grill later on at night. Sometimes I prep it up the day before and throw it on the next day. So we're gonna refrigerate it, we're gonna saran wrap him up, keep it refrigerated, let everything bind, and then we're gonna come back with it. Another thing I talked about in the other video I recorded that didn't want to record was this seasoning. If you don't have this seasoning, Weber makes an immaculate gourmet burger seasoning. I mean, this thing is crazy fire. We're gonna need this when we grill it up later. If you ain't got it, make your patties, put them in the fridge. Go to your local Lowe's. Lowe's usually got it. And get you the Weber gourmet seasoning joint. We're gonna season that joint up when we put it on the grill later. And you're gonna see exactly how it's going down. Let's go. All right, YouTube, we back. Hey, listen, pardon the noise. You know, neighbors want to be cutting grass every time when I want to grill outside and I want to record a video. But listen, we here. We outside with it. Part 2 of the video. We grilling the burgers up. We got a 2-zone
fire going right now. We got an indirect and a direct heat side. We're gonna get into it in a minute. I'm gonna show y'all what we looking like. Right now we grilling it up. Let me pull the cam in for y'all. Let me pull the cam in for y'all. As you can see, we got a little 2-zone fire going, right? You want to grill these things on indirect heat for about 10 minutes each side. We're about to get ready to flip the first side, and then we're gonna go direct heat for a few more minutes. We're gonna play it by ear when I show y'all the sauce and routine. A lot of people don't like to really do the indirect heat method, but you know, the more practice you get with it, you're gonna really find out that indirect heat is the best way to grill. By grilling indirect, you can lock in the flavor, lock in the juices without burning and charring your meat up, whether it's burgers, dogs, chicken, it don't matter. So I grill indirect almost every time I grill, and then we do the direct to finish it up, to get that sear in there. So we just gonna flip these things real quick. So there we go, we done flipped them over for the first flip. Like I said, 10 minutes indirect each side, and then we gonna throw it over here on that direct for about 3 minutes each side roughly. In a minute we gonna get into it, and I'm gonna show y'all my exact special sauce grilling technique. Like I was saying earlier, people always tend to want to grill direct heat only. Problem is, when you grill direct heat, a lot of times you can't get the inner of what you cooking, whether it's chicken, whether it's, say you got leg quarters, you know what I mean? That chicken's not gonna get fully done by grilling direct, because that direct heat is gonna give too much. I got my grill ramped up to 500 degrees right now, but I let those grates get nice and hot on the indirect side. So as soon as I put them burgers on, bang, they popping. So like I said, you wanna get your grill nice and hot. You wanna ramp it up 500-600 degrees, about 550 or so. Let those indirect grates get nice and hot. Spray them down. I use a coconut cooking oil spray. Canola John, I'm not sure who is made by. Coconut cooking oil, John. Spraying down, throw your burgers on, season them up with the seasoning I told you about. Throw them on 10 minutes each side. Once that's done, you're gonna know you're gonna know that they ready to flip simply by the moisture. Let's get back in there with the moisture. I don't know if y'all can see it, but when them juices start bubbling up to the top, that's how you know she was ready to flip. All right, we back. I brought the coconut cooking oil. This is the joint I use to spray my grates down with anytime I'm cooking. Anytime I'm grilling, I spray it down with that Luana coconut cooking oil. All right, as for the sauce, listen, I'm not going to do a whole video breaking down my secret sauce today. That might be a whole nother video on another upload. But, so I got my secret sauce already made up, right? Now, if you running short on time, go get you a pre-made joint, like a Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue joint. That's like one of the most universal barbecue sauces that you can probably find. That's going to give you a great flavor. It's going to go on pretty much anything. Chicken, dogs, burgers, it don't matter. It's going to be good. Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue. I keep it in the pantry just in case I ain't got time to whip up my sauce. So I got my sauce whipped up. Little bowl, you know, something light, something right, you know. We gonna sauce this. Now, one of the keys when you making burgers, dogs too, but mainly burgers, is the 3 sauce layering. You want to sauce these burgers up when you throw them on a direct heat side 3 times each side. Now, it don't take long for that sauce to start burning when you got a lot of brown sugar, a lot of honey, things like that going on up in there. So you want to bang, 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 sauce it, flip it. Bang, 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 sauce it, flip it. It's really like a 10-15 second. Let it sit on the grate, burning up wild crazy, flip it. 3 layers on each side, and then you pull it off the grill. All right, we back. We about to get ready to get busy on the direct heat side. First and foremost, you can probably see them grates is wild stupid hot. You want to spray these joints down. Don't be afraid of the flame. It might flame up on you. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. Get that thing, you know what I mean? Otherwise, your burgers, your meat, whatever you're throwing on it is going to get stupid charred and dry. You don't want that. Now we're going to start our sauce process. You just want to do a light layer. Get you a nice sauce mop. Light layer. And if you usually, so what I'm doing, like, usually I do like 8 sliders at a time. I sauce all 8, and by the time I'm done all 8, it's time to really get them flipped. This first side ain't gonna matter because there ain't no sauce in the bottom. It's the sauce that causes the havoc. All right. See it. The sauce is fully caramelized into the burger. So when that thing come off, she gonna be righteous. We back. All right, we got our burgers done, sauced and immaculate eyes. Listen, some people when they do their burgers, they like to put all kinds of condiments on it. I feel like if you grill up the perfect burger, you don't need no condiments. All you need is a real good bun. Now, they was out of my brioche sliders that I normally use, so I had to use a regular potato bread slider. But listen, there it is. Sometimes I might throw a little pepper jack on this joint, maybe a little Munster. Today, though, we going straight burger and bun. That's a slider, baby. Taste test. Let me get in there. Oh my goodness. Listen. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that flavor, the juices peering out of that thing, the onions wild crazy. Listen. The best burger you ever gonna make that you never knew existed. Till next time.